Richard Rothstein's book, The Color of Law, shows how governmental policies violated the 14th Constitution by continuing the substandard second-class citizenship idea of African Americans through segregation policies that were allowed and even reinforced through local, state, and federal governments. He begins by starting with Frank Stevenson, who was born in the 1920s, and his life. He continues on with showing the differences between Frank's life and his fellow Caucasian peers and the struggle of Frank to find housing. Now, Frank was a lucky one, and he was able to move himself up on the socioeconomic ladder more than most African Americans. However, he still had to attend a segregated school and got a substandard education. This substandard education followed him through his generations, and his grandchildren are still going to the same substandard school, which is underfunded. Rothstein also includes several different sections in his books, such as scare tactics, which include blockbusting, which in turn creates white flight when white individuals sell their houses at reduced rates to move out quicker, and then real estate agents can inflate the prices for African Americans that are trying to move in. This creates stress on African Americans' financial situation even more, because they're not getting paid as much as Caucasians, and then they have to pay more, and they don't have the same benefits that white individuals do in housing situations. Now, this is important because Rothstein shows very explicit and multiple examples of governmental policies through the Tennessee Valley Authority, the federal housing agencies, and agencies of the such, discriminating against Black individuals and reinforcing the idea that they will lower property value, which seems to be proven because of blockbusting. They don't actually lower property value, but the scare tactics that are used create the white flight and creates the property value being sold at a reduced rate. He also argues that through these unconstitutional ways that the government intervened in housing authorities, that in turn it created ghettos and slums through the public housing that African American individuals were not able to keep up with and had to get several other individuals to move in with them so they could afford rent. Rothstein's book is very important in showing how our government still violated the Constitution and unlawful practices against Black Americans, even though the 14th Amendment says everyone is equal under the law. And he has a call for action and asks for the individuals that are reading it, and it's mostly geared towards judges and lawyers. However, it is also meant for the general population, and it's pretty easy to read, so that the general population can read it. He has a call for action and asks for readers to accept responsibility and not ignore the problem. He wants us to move forward and change our views to show that we accept responsibility and then continue on to create policies and help correct what our preceding government has failed to do for African Americans.